much clearer than before. So this session itself is quite interesting because it will be done in a podcast style, not just the voice per se, but it will be like a conversational. So there will be quite some interactions between the host and also the speaker, rather than just as a Dharma speaker with the slides. So now allow me to introduce our speaker for the day. For the month of August, our WiseConnect, our speaker, a very long list. I will try my very, very best to enunciate clearly the list here. So here our speaker, Professor Ewe, he has obtained his Bachelor of Engineering First Class Honours in Electrical Engineering from UM. And later, he proceeded with the Masters of Science degree in Electrical Engineering and Computer Science from MIT in US, and then later a PhD degree from MMU, Multimedia University. And prior to being an academician, he has worked in various corporate and is currently a senior professor of the Lee Kong Chian Faculty of Engineering and Science. And since 2019, our speaker has also been the president, CEO of Utah. Our speaker is also the recipient of a number of awards, including the Young Scientist Award in 1996, Outstanding Young Malaysian Award 2005 for academic leadership and accomplishment, and many, 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 many more. In addition to the professional list, in terms of publication, our speaker has also published in multiple books, international journals, conferences, and newspapers, and also magazine column articles. So some of you probably just now you have visited the book section over there. So those are actually compilation of articles that he has produced over the years. So he has been writing monthly articles, and it's compiled into a book in Mandarin, and the English version was just out less than 2 weeks, and we have them here as well. So later, if you want, do visit the section over there. So now, brothers and sisters, please help me welcome our speaker for the day, Prof Ewe Hong Tat. Here. Hi, yes. Can. This will be your mic.
You need this kind of chair? Oh, it's okay. And this one is fine.
Can we have you handling the mic? Welcome, Prof. Can you briefly introduce yourself? Besides the list that I've shared with you just now.
Thank you to the MC, Kimberley. Thank you. I think most of the time when I give talks, I'll just present according to the PPT and all that. This time they want to do it a bit different. It's kind of the interview style. or chatting, maybe fireside chat kind of style. Okay, but okay, it's good. I'm so happy to see every one of you. And today hopefully we can have a good discussion about the topic and anything that we like to know. Myself, I was born in Penang. 1967, and then later during my primary school, at that time, I was most of the time spending time reading books, but not the books used in the schools. So my scores, results, and all that in the school were not so good. And then that's why my parents actually, when we actually moved to, when I was young, I also stayed near the old house, big old house, just next to San Hui Jiang, just next to it. So it's so close, but seldom went there also. So close next to it. Then later we moved to Aitang, and then when I was in primary 5 school, there was actually the school exam, the national school exam, 5年级检定考试. So that's why my parents think that thought that my study was not so good. also sent me for tuition class there. There's free tuition class. There was free tuition class there. So to study math, EM, Malay, Chinese, English, and all that. So, but one special arrangement because it was organized by a Buddhist association called Hui Ying Se. So they always arrange that at the end of this tuition class, every week there was one half an hour, short slot, that actually the teacher would come in and also share with us some story about Buddha. So this is how we got to know. I was primary 5 students. So listening all this one. Then later they say at the end of the year, they say, wow, Saturday we have this preliminary class in Buddhism. Welcome us to join. So when I was in standard 6, I joined this class every Saturday. That's how I get to know about Buddhism. And of course, standard 6, then after that, removed. I went to the Chuqi, the junior. Then the middle is actually another year, another 2 years, and then after that, Gaoqi, another 2 years to go through the whole process. Of course, along the way, I also sat for the test, national examination of Buddhism by YBAM and also in Hozhong. So I was also lucky when I was in middle stage. I was national number 3.
Well, whole Malaysia number 3.
Then when I was in senior level, was national number 1. But at the time, I study this one like the school text, memorizing all these terms and all that. So at that time, sometimes I don't quite understand also, because I don't have enough life experience. Okay, but over the years, over all these years throughout my life, from time to time, when you face different challenges, obstacles, different parts of the world and all that, sometimes what we have learned when we were young, you pop up, you guide us and all that, and then you realize and you understand better. Oh, this is what it means and all that. Okay, thank you.
So maybe next time for Dharma talk or Buddhist sharing, maybe at the list there can also mention Nation 1 number 3 and Nation 1 number 1 Buddhist.
During that time it was like studying, so maybe theoretically you know more, but in practice, in real understanding, you still need time to realize.
And it's also the condition is there because initially Prof visit the place for free tuition. So in addition to the free tuition, and then attend the Buddhist classes as well. And then he progressed as he still progressed in terms of academics in school as well.
Yes, this Buddhist association is actually, they have a very good strategy. In addition to tuition class, they also organize so that for students who love, for young people who love choir, they join the choir group. They sing normal song, but it's in Buddhist association. So slowly some of them may actually want to learn more about Buddhism. So they also have Chinese orchestra, which I also join. I play erhu, and then they also have a dancing club as well. So this is how they actually attract the youngsters, the teenagers to join. So nowadays maybe we should have AI class, we should have games class, or I don't know, there's something suitable for the youngsters, and then let them come in, and then but slowly they will know, they will learn, or they want to actually learn more about Buddhism.
Yeah, I know of some societies that actually have board game clubs as well, in communities. And also, Prof, can you share with us also your journey in the university at that time, because you also studied overseas?
Okay. When I was in my high school was in Chongling High School, and then at that time I still remember when I was in Form 4 or Form 5, I was the Vice President of Buddhist Society in the high school, and the President later also became a monk. Maybe you know him, Qi Zhang Fa Shi, or he is now actually Theravada. He is also always actually recently gave to she actually quite often give Dhamma talk as well. Dhammapada. Dhammapada.
Ordained as a monk.
Yeah. So he was my president. I was vice president in Buddhist society. Then later of course I went to University of Malaya to join University of Malaya doing electrical engineering. So from the first year I joined Buddhist society, and then second year I became the president of the Buddhist society. That was also the time that in UM the Buddhist society slowly changing from the stream that actually more use English to propagate Dhamma to the stream of using Chinese to do propagation of Dhamma. Then I was there as a president. Then after that, of course, my next president was actually a law student, and that president later also became a monk, which is Fa Ze Zun Ze. Who? 吉祥尊者. So I'm very close to both of them. Very kind of thing. Okay. Oh, and there was also the time when Taiwan Tzu Chi and also Po Guang San came in. So some of our students members, we also encourage them to join this, and they all now become very seniors in those organizations. So when we were there, and then of course we organized, we have a Dhamma talk during Friday, during the Friday noon time break. We have the Dhamma talk, and we attract a lot of the students. Brother Tan Hot Chai was very popular during that time, giving a lot of talks and all that, including Reverend Chi Chen and others, Brother Charlie Chia, and also Brother Victor V. They all gave a lot of Dhamma talks. And when after that, during that time, when I retired as the president of the society. Of course, I will focus on my study. But at that time, it was popular that in Malaysia, especially among the university students, they like to compose songs. There was a time, 鸡蛋工作坊, 风信子 and all that. So we also have this kind of practice. So at that time, I also composed some Buddhist hymns, including the one maybe you are familiar with is the Sui, water, which later I understand that it was also sung in many places as well. And then did another one, 选择, and also because the Reverend Chi Chen wrote the poems 看海1、2、3、4, describing the 4 stages of Zen, Chan stage. Then we, together with my friend, we together composed the melody for 看海1、2、3、4. So that was also the time that the Buddhist hymn also in Chinese language, because Brother Tan Hua Chai and Brother Vidya, they have composed a lot of very nice English hymns at that time. Of course, also Chinese hymn as well. Then we also follow like that. And also during that time, we were actually invited by many Buddhist organizations to say that can you send some university students to go and give Dhamma talk. So we also set up this 妙喜 Hong Fa Tuan. This is actually a class that train the university students to know how to actually be a speaker, Dhamma speaker. So we have step 1, we have lesson 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that, and practice and all that. It's a more structural program to do so, and then quite a number of them later also become frequent Dhamma speakers. Then, and of course at that time we worked with Phuthi Kongchong Pang a lot for the hymns and all, singing and all that. So this is how, when I was in University of Malaya, so we did quite a number of activities. Thank you.
The speaker program is also active now.
It's
How
still
many terms
Oh, many
have.
terms. You just imagine we started in 1991. Now it's 2025.
Over 3 decades. The
Yeah,
program is still going strong
yeah,
to
it's
train
still,
Dharma speakers
yeah,
among
yeah,
uni
yeah.
students.
In UM, yes, yes.
And I also understand you also start a Buddhist center in MIT. How
Oh,
did it happen? MIT US, MIT in the 90s. How did it happen?
Okay, thank you. So after my undergrads, then I went to work in Intel for 3 months. Then I still remember during the first week, after I started reporting for duty, the first week, the third day or second day, I forgot, right? I have to actually tender my resignation because after reporting, I received this admission offer letter from MIT. Yeah, so to study and then of course with scholarship and all that and stipend and those kind of things. Okay, but I still work in Intel for 3 months to complete notice period of 3 months.
But
Then,
you hand in the letter on the third day of your employment.
yeah. During the interview I told them I was applying, so I may. So but they still give me the offer to join lah. So when I reported for duty, I didn't know. If I know in advance, I wouldn't join lah. To be fair to them. So later I went to MIT to study electrical and computer science. As you know, MIT now is the top universities in the world, and a lot of technical people there, technology and all. And it's next to Harvard University, about maybe 1 kilometer walking distance and all that. So I choose to stay in Central Square, which is between Harvard and MIT. So during weekdays, I went to MIT for classes. During weekend, I can go to actually Harvard University to listen talks and all that in humanities and all that. That was there that I first heard about the talk given by Sen Yan Fa Shi. Okay, then I still remember during that time, Reverend Ji Chen was at that time went to Massachusetts Buddhist Society there, teaching meditation. When he was there, I also went there. So it's quite a coincidence lah during that time. And then I realized that actually among the Chinese students, meaning those who are Chinese race, Chinese students, at that time not so many at MIT. Some of them are actually Buddhists. Okay, then I got to know that there was one who is the daughter of the daughter of a famous family in Taiwan, and also the son and daughter, they were also studying at MIT, and the elder brother was studying law in Harvard University. So they are also interested in Buddhism and all. So we say, since there's no Buddhist society at MIT, so let us start a new one. So we started the Buddhist society at MIT. I was the first vice president, and then they are actually secretary and all that. So initially when we started, of course we used classroom to give Dharma classes as well. And then for meditation and all that, we use some of the members' house or rented apartment. So just like that lah. Then Sunday came together, did some meditation and all that. So that was the experience at MIT. Yeah.
I noticed that there are many things that, don't have, okay lah, let's do this. But then a lot of people, probably we have a lot of restrictions or blockages at the back of our head. I cannot one lah. That's why now still don't have. So what actually get you started? Because once you start, you need to continue.
Yeah.
But a lot of people actually, they are quite resistant in taking the first step.
Yeah, because I think if we learn about Buddhism, is about cause, effect, and conditions. Is about dependent origination. So sometimes when the time is right and you think that it's right and all that, we don't have to worry too much lah. Or thinking that who knows, it may sustain. If it is actually not able to sustain, it will go through its natural course. And who knows, in future, this may be actually a seed that other people continue to set up and all that. Yeah. So we believe that this is very important. And of course, at that time, we think that Or sometimes people also say that, MIT is actually a technological institution. So whether as a religion like Buddhism and all that is also suitable. But as you can see, there are a lot of relations between Buddhism and science. Okay, so you want to find out more? The two books there.
Wow, that was a very smooth flow. So everyone know what to do later. And also, Prof, I also want to now ask about another area of your interest, because you have written a lot of articles for Pullman as well. Can you just share with us how you started that project? It's been going on for many years, and how you actually start the first article, because for Prof to write an article to merge two topics that many people see that it's actually not related at all, he actually took up the offer and he has to do a lot of research before he actually published the monthly article, that one article. So can you share more with us?
Yeah, actually I love sciences and mathematics when I was young. Okay, of course initially I didn't get good results because I was paying attention on other things, the reading outside the textbook. There's a lot of things very interesting and all that. So when I went to remove, my result were also not very good. A lot of red inks and all that. So my father told me, the first term when the result was out, my father told me, you are now already a secondary student. You must start thinking about your future. You have to be responsible. So that night I was thinking very deeply and all that, and then realized that I should now be responsible also. So slowly I focused back my attention to the actual study and managed to do better and better. So when I was young, I loved sky. Every night after dinner I will go out and also look at the sky and the constellation. So I can at that time I can recognize about 80 constellations out of 88 in the sky, because some we cannot see. We are fortunate, we are actually at equator, we can see more. Okay, so using binoculars and all that, identify all this one. Then when I was a high school student, I joined Malaysian Astronomical Society. Then I also joined the Planetary Society in US. So very much interested in this one. So I still remember when I was after my STPM, I also applied to US universities. Okay, one of them I applied was actually Caltech. I put in my options choice astronomy. It's true, but I didn't get in. I didn't get in. So life is always full with obstacles. Like for example, at that time, you need to have a Basel credit. Then I did SPM 3 times. The first time, all the subjects managed to get distinction except Basel. Well, it was a pass lah. But to go to university, you need to have credit. So I did the July paper once, also didn't get, and then the second July paper only I got. The same thing even when I applied to US University, during the high school time, I also applied to MIT, I didn't get it. And also other universities as well. But after that, after the first degree, then I managed to get all these universities offer. So sometimes lives can be like that one. Never give up, just continue trying. So, and because of that interest in astronomy, physics, so I studied theory of relativity quite early and all that. And when I came back to Malaysia as a lecturer in University of Malaya, and later I went to MMU as also lecturers and all that, there was one time that Pullman magazine, actually they conducted a seminar, and that the topic of seminar was about science and Buddhism. So I was one of the speakers. So after that talk, and then the editor, Brother Min Sing, actually asked me whether I'm interested in writing articles for the magazine. So at that time, I just right away actually promised. But later I realized that, wow, it is a huge task because science has so many disciplines: biology, chemistry, physics, astronomy, if you include social science, economy, and other things as well. But since I promised that, I said okay, no problem. So since then, I start writing every month one article, and every month I'll choose one discipline of sciences. Like this time is physics, next time astronomy, next time is actually chemistry, and then I'll find books all about the latest trend, latest discovery in science in that area, and then wrote something about this one. And that one continued for quite a number of years, 5 years or 6 years, then published the first book. And then after that continue, then also after COVID, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, then I published another book. These are all in Chinese. And of course there was a demand. This was in simplified text lah. I think altogether the two books we printed about 5,000. So now almost sold out. And then last year we published in what complicated text, 繁体
traditional Chinese
traditional
font.
in Taiwan. So that one was very thankful to them, and I was told that in Taiwan Kaohsiung Airport there's a bookshop, no? This book is actually among the bestseller. This is according to them. And I went to it was also sold in a Hong Kong book fair. That day, 1 month ago, I was in Hong Kong book fair. The people there say that last year it was more popular. The copies they brought there all sold out. Yeah, about this one. So, but a lot of requests also want it to be in English. So now we have the English version. And this English version, for your information, we use a lot of AI to help. When we first did the translation, of course there are people who help us to do the translation. But somehow we think it can be better. And together with editor, we engaged the help of ChatGPT. And then we managed to get a better translation. I just need to go through chapter by chapter and article by article. Although when ChatGPT is wrong, it's really terribly long. So we have to be very careful and all that. So we rectify it and all that. That's how we come up with this book. Yeah.
That brings me to the next transition as well, because you are very into AI. Your faculty or your profession, and also whatever that you research on. In very layman term, can you just explain to everyone what AI is? Because some people might just think that, oh, AI is more of ChatGPT, it can help me do something, but in very layman term, how does it actually apply in many of our daily lives? Can you share some examples with us?
Okay, thank you. So when I came back from MIT, of course at that time at MIT I was exposed to the latest internet technology. I still remember I have my own website up, I think a few weeks ahead of Yahoo. That time, because we were exposed early and all that. So we like to learn about all these new technologies. So when I was back to the first subject I taught was computer organization and architecture. Then later when I was in MMU, they also asked me to teach subject on AI. So I took the challenge to also teach AI about 20 years ago. But of course, at that time, the technology is, if compared to nowadays, it was very primitive and all that. So basically, AI, if you talk about machine learning, which is how to teach the machine to analyze the data, to come up with the solutions. And then AI will be actually more focused on various ways of how you can imitate human intelligence. And there are various ways. Some actually may use decision tree to decide what should be the right. Some may use probability. What is the probability of success of this one or this one? Then you choose the one with higher probability. So there are various ways. The one that is now very popular is actually the stream or the branch of this AI that actually imitate how our human neural networks work. imitate how a neuron works. So, for example, let me actually ask you. You see, you human being, we have a lot of neurons inside our brain. Every one of us, the number of neurons we have are most the same. But what is different is actually since young and until now, every day we actually start doing the new neuron connections among the neurons. Every neuron can be connected to over 1,000 or more of the neurons of others. Through this connection, you actually record down whatever you have learned, you have experienced in your life into these neuron connections. So every one of you, your neuron connections are different, but the neuron connection can actually grow every day. The strong one can be getting stronger every day, and some weaker one, if you don't use it, slowly you will be broken off and all that. So that means that everybody every day, depending on how you learn, you can be able to change your mindset, because you can put in the good things in, and you can put in more positive thinking. Your neuron connection is towards that one, so in future you can be a better person. So all the latest cognitive science theory tell us that it is true. This everyday experience, that from your eye, your ear and others, from your practice, from your experience and all that, you are changing the neuron connection inside there. So yesterday and today you are different. Every day is different. Okay, so that's why we all know that in just now, like we mentioned about 5%, we mentioned about how we can help people. So it is possible in that point of view. Now, AI is following that trend as well. What they do is actually inside the computer system and all that, they also set up this node, just like our neuron, a lot of nodes. So we have trillions of neurons, they also set up trillions of nodes. And all nodes are all connected. And all the connections, is what we call parameters. It has some values. Value 1.0 meaning that it's a strong connection. 0.1 is weak connection. So how do they actually establish all the values of all these connections? They just keep feeding the ChatGPT about the human knowledge, keep feeding, and then adjusting the parameters value so that it captures the knowledge and all that. So over the like GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, they learn a lot from the internet, many web pages and all that. They learn a lot, so they become a knowledgeable person. Just like human being, if you learn a lot, you actually read and memorize all the encyclopedia, you become very knowledgeable, right? So it is following the same concept and all that. So sometimes I would like to tell people, a lot of times we may be amazed that why ChatGPT, they know different languages. Have they learned grammar? Because this is always challenging. But from what it tells us is actually, in order to improve ourselves in using any language or in learning any language, the key thing is actually continue to learn, continue to use, continue to write, continue to speak. I mean, you practice a lot, then slowly and gradually you become expert in this area. So just like when we want to learn BM, Bahasa English or Chinese or other even dialects and all that, just continue to practice. You provide the environment for them, practice a lot, and then get them interested in this one. Naturally, the result will become better. This is the lesson from ChatGPT. Okay, so because of that one, when ChatGPT was actually at one time GPT 2.0, you see GPT 1.0, they still use the internal about 11,000 books not yet published to train the GPT. They found that it shows some intelligence. When it goes to GPT 2.0, it actually exposes to all the many millions of texts online for it to learn. So when it learns all this online text in the internet, when you ask questions, sometimes the GPT might be a bit naughty. He may use some dirty words that they learn from the internet. So they actually set up a manual, an expert team to guide GPT. What is the way? How is the way to answer to human? What is the more humane way of answering question? That's why it becomes more and more human-like and all that, because it was guided by human team. Just like in education, when the children start learning all these things and all that, we have teachers who guide them. So you can see a lot of similarity. So once you know about this one, I suppose you know how to handle the challenge of AI now. How? While you are learning how to use AI, you continue, all of us continue to learn knowledge and skills. Because if we ourselves are not actually as good or as knowledgeable, we may actually end up that just knowing how to use, and in future we are totally dependent on it, and we may actually lose our control or may lose job to somebody who actually can use it better and also have the knowledge. Thank you.
So another example is like last time we used to be very good in directions. We can read maps very well. And then now we outsource to Google Map and Waze. So when your internet is down or when the phone no more battery, then you start to panic. Or when you hear the word "ting," change direction, then you don't know how to go. So that is because we already outsource. I'm speaking for myself, but that is how we outsource our brains in terms of the direction to the application.
Yeah, this is a good analogy. So during the AI era, don't be afraid. Learn more. Learn more, and you are able to learn more. Just imagine you look at all the handphones that you have. This is actually over 10 years of experience you have learned, you know. If you pass your handphone to somebody 20 years ago, they will be thinking that this is a big challenge. How can you do so many things using a smartphone? But all of us have actually learned. So must have a growth mindset in the AI era. That if you are willing to learn, you are willing to test. And once you learn, then you realize that it can do certain things, but certain things it may not do as well as good as what you can do. Why is it so? Because you see, even GPT itself, it actually learns so much knowledge about the world and all that, from the human world and all that. It is a generalized brain. Generalized meaning that it learns about all the common knowledge of human being. But when it's come to localized knowledge, you know better. Every one of you know better. Like for example, ChatGPT can come up with a speech for you to speak here. But if you ask Brother Tan Hua Chai to speak, in addition to what he can read, whatever the ChatGPT has prepared, what he can share his experience of how he started this, how every single, even the clock, even this one, he knows the story behind it. That is what we call localized and personalized knowledge. So even in AI era, you still need to have a lot of solution which is localized and personalized. And that's how if we can work with ChatGPT and all this AI, we can do work better, but not actually saying dependent on them in that sense totally.
And also, like earlier you mentioned, because ChatGPT, they have gone through the not so proper phase, and then they have gone through some schooling or maybe some training on how to actually deal with your users much better. So it's almost like a customer service line, and then they went through a training, and then they have to condition a lot of repetition, and then they have a very A+ customer service. Right? So for ChatGPT and also other AI tools, they have been producing through millions and trillions of trial and error. They have come up with answers that people want to see, right? And also recently there is a meme or a picture going on. I will try to describe it clearly. The first image is, hey, show me your chat history, phone history. Nah, take lah. Show me your chat GPT history. Wow, that person faster run away. Because people might ask various questions to ChatGPT, especially when they have an account. I think some of you might know it, or some of you are very new into this, but there are some people, people of all ages, they would see ChatGPT as that one channel that they can always ask a lot of questions, or they can have a lot of conversations. And sometimes it becomes too heavy reliance on those AI tools. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe so. That's why while using this one, I think it's still very important for us to know the difference, because there's also a phenomena which is what we call AI relationship. For example, if when our children they are young, we actually provide them now not just handphone, but AI, AI, AI component and all that. So the children may actually grow together with this AI component. Who knows, maybe in future he or she will believe the suggestion from the AI component more than the suggestion from the parents. It can happen. It can happen. So that's why it is very important that when the children are young and all that, we still need to instill this all these good values of human. Let them know about all these things and all that, because that is how they can shape their neural connection. And when they all these early age neural network connection are relatively stronger, and then more solid and all that. So that's why it's still very important with good education at the early stage and all that. And one thing that people might ask, how do we actually train ChatGPT? And then it goes to, how do you change yourself? If let's say we want to change ourselves, how do we change ourselves? Let me share with you an analogy that all of you have been doing it recently. For example, if now all of you, I give you each one of you a new handphone. I give you each one of you a new smartphone. So if you check everybody's handphone, the screen, all the same, right? Then after 3 months, I ask you all to come back, show me the same smartphone. You look inside there, different application, different usage, different wordings in your social media and all that. Now, you have educated your handphone differently. So the same thing, life is also like that one. What kind of life you want, okay? It's also how you shape yourself every day. Every day you have to remind yourself, like for example the latest research about mindfulness training is actually or meta meditation. The latest research they actually show that even every night before you go to sleep, you send out these meta greetings, or in not necessarily in Buddhist context or whatever, any just general one. You wish that you can live better, your family members can live happily, they all are getting better, your colleagues, your friends, your classmates and all will come there, the world will be peaceful and all that. That kind of thought and all that will be able to actually help you to develop empathy in your brain much faster and much more effective. That is scientific research. There's also even actually some research that show that was mentioned by Professor Blackburn. Professor Blackburn is a Nobel laureate. She discovered the telomere. See, every one of our cell in the DNA, at the tip of this one, there's this telomere. Every time when the cell divides and all that, it will become shorter, and until it cannot be shorter, it can be more. Until it cannot be more shorter, then you stop division, and the cell actually dies. Okay, so it actually controls how fast you age and all that. According to Professor Blackburn, he found out that if you are mindful, you practice meditation and all that, in fact, you slow down the aging of the cells. This is the latest research and all that. Of course, other also give you the side effect. For example, meditation, good sleep, healthy diets, and also exercise. All this will prolong your aging and all that. So all these are actually showing that is in fact your mind. We can actually change your mindset. Just like ChatGPT. As long as every day, just like what Buddha has told us, every day do something good, avoid doing something bad. Slowly, after a while, your mindset changes.
So from within, if it's good in nature and then you practice more good, whatever you see or whatever your phone will feed you is also less bad lah. And also anti-aging mah. It also caught many people's attention. So probably you want to invest money somewhere else instead of buying the items, meditate more, meditate properly in a proper manner.
Yeah.
And
The research also shows that after 30 hours of the mindfulness training, it is possible to reduce the activity of our amygdala. Our amygdala is the part of the brain that controls your emotion. You will reduce the activity by 50% after 30 hours of mindfulness training. So it will help you to become a calm person. In fact, now a lot of research are showing that, like Professor Harari, a very famous book author, booksellers, and all that, his book actually like Sapien, Homo Deus, 21 Lessons for 21st Century, and the latest one, Nisus, show over 43 million copies worldwide. In fact, he said that in future there are two skills that we need to acquire. One skill very important is actually adaptability and keep learning, very important. And second skill is mental balance and emotional intelligence. Then you can see that that is why it's very important that in future heading towards this one. And then in his third book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, if you read the last chapter, the whole last chapter, he actually dedicated to his experience. He said that why he was able to come up with all this insightful sharing of his opinion that a lot of world leaders are listening and all that. He says it's because he does vipassana meditation every day, 2 hours. And through this meditation, he was able to see things, see the mind and all that clearer and all that. And recently in his talk over the YouTube, you can check and all that, he even mentioned that in the AI era, because we have to know our mind, know our thought, then you can actually compete in the AI era. You can live peacefully with AI because it is so powerful and all that. And in order to do so, he thinks that the skill you can acquire to address this challenge is through meditation. This is what he shared with people in YouTube.
So these are the positive side and also the ideal situation, like how we can live in harmony with AI. But I just want to find out from your perspective, why do you think so many people actually rely on AI for work, or maybe for things that they are not willing to share it out to someone? They would actually express it all out. Because we have some conversations as well. There are some people who are not that young, and they actually heavily rely, and they say, wow, it's like a SOP. Every day, like people drink coffee every day, they must talk to ChatGPT or talk to AI every day to feel that, okay, they are done for the day, they are less lonely, for example. Why do you think there is a situation like that? And also, is it due to the pandemic?
Okay.
Or why do you think people actually would prefer talking to an AI than to friends or people around them?
That's why relationship is very important. If you, let's say for example, even from the evolution point of view, let's say we were in previously primates, and now we are human being and all that, which is a group kind of a species. We like to stay in a group because we don't have jaws, we don't have claws. We need to depend on everybody's cooperation, staying as a group and all that. So inside our DNA, inside our mind and all that, we always believe that relationship is important. So according to a research by 2 Harvard professors started in 1938, at that time they interviewed about 400 needy families, young teenagers in Boston, and 200 over university students from Harvard University, and they traced year by year their conditions, their mental situation and everything. and that includes also one US president inside the interviewee as well. And after 80 years of study, their conclusion is that they always ask all these interviewee, did you have a good life in their life after 80 years? Did you have a good life? Was the life meaningful to you? And the finding is actually not because that they had achieved certain thing, they become the rich person, or they became very successful in their enterprises or whatever, that they feel that the life is meaningful and happy and all that. They find out the only thing which is a very strong measure is that anybody live after so many years that they think that their life is not wasted, they had a good life, is because in throughout this life they had some kind of a good relationship. It can be a good relationship between the husband and wife. It can be within the family. It can be that during this life they have a few good friends that they can talk to. All right, 知己 and all that. Meaning those who know each other.
So-called partner in crime sometimes.
Then also
in a good way. No, not partner in crime, not 兄弟, not 兄弟, 知己. Not 兄弟, 知己.
It's actually they know each other, the good friends.
And 知心.
Or they have been in certain company, certain organization for long, they have been servicing. Then they believe in this, and then they believe that they have contributed a lot. So it's all about relationship. Why we think human nature, why you think you have a good life is because you think there was some relationship that you had and all that. So by knowing, and it does not depend on how many likes you have on your Facebook or Instagram. They are talking about more long-term relationship and all that. So now, of course, in the old days, we have family members, parents, brothers and sisters, good friends, good colleagues and all that, or people together in the organization. But now there's new addition, AI companion. Because some people think that AI companion can give them this kind of relationship, and they are dependent on that one. So we are still studying whether this is good or not. But after all, if it can behave like a human, it can be like a long-term companion. It can be always very attentive to your requests, and you feel somebody feel that they are so they feel so at ease when they are talking to this kind of AI component. It may become a trend. So we are not denying that the effect may be like that one, but I'm not too sure how AI will guide them. So depending on AI, whether this AI after their training, because AI when you use it, you are also training the AI, because whatever your feedback, they know what you want and all that. No? So if we are training in the wrong way, it may guide you in the wrong way as well. So this is actually a phenomenon that we are observing. So we don't know, but it may be something that people may be too much dependent on this one. Just like there was a very popular movie called Her, H-E-R. Then you have heard about this one, right? It is about this AI companion. Yeah.
So you need to train the AI properly. If not, you are the one that get trained by AI lah.
It's again, you see, all relationships have some attachment. So you have too much attached to AI, then you'll be actually also influenced or maybe controlled by AI. Because after all, AI is still at the back, the algorithm might be actually still controlled by certain algorithm and all that. So that's why sometimes we say that all those companies who are offering AI services, we also wish that the company have their algorithm properly monitored. Because if every day they give a little bit of 1% of more positive energies content sent to all the users, the world will become better. You understand? Every day just 1%, right? But if they actually, because of wanting to have more viewership, more advertisement income, and then because a lot of times videos that are more negative are easily spread out and all that.
More catchy.
More catchy and all that. Then slowly you change change how society views certain things. We are too much agitated with all the all these latest trend and all that. So people quickly jump into and then start reacting and all that. So that is another effect that we should be aware of.
So when you are using AI tools, the intention is very important.
Yeah, you must also able. That's why meditation is very important. Why is it so? Because when you meditate, you see your mind, you monitor your mind, you watch your mind. So when you are reading like Instagram or TikTok, after a while you think it's enough, you can stop. That power of stop is very important, or else people will be addicted, that keep seeing and all that until it's late night and all that. So that's why when we are using AI, we need to train our mind as well. Your mind must have your own self-awareness and self-control. That is very important. And in order to do so, you must know your mind. You must have know how to detect your mind flow or whatever. Then you have a little bit of thinking. Then that is a point that you can make some decision. Just like in computer programming, if you know that every now and then in a computer operation, you always go to the operating system. Operating system, every now and then, you auto go back the control to operating system, so that operating system can control and terminate anything which is not suitable. So train our mind so that when we are doing certain things, we notice this, that this is not going the right way, then you can jump out of it, and that is very important in the AI era.
And also, given your role in your profession, it's definitely not an easy task. You also need to use AI tools as well. So can you just share with us maybe how you utilize, with the right intention, the AI tools at work or maybe out of work as well?
I talk to many people, including also professors from other universities. Like for example, people may think that okay, now AI can design posters, so we will run out of job, for example. But it's not really that way. Like for example, AI can design 20 posters, okay, very nice poster. Now, which one you're going to use? You need somebody who know about the content, who have knowledge of design, and who can maybe pick one or two of them more suitable, who know the markets, who know the human, to pick this one, and then you can add some more command to actually improve the poster. You still need to have people like that one. That one also still need knowledge and skill training. Okay, the same thing for example the translator. Okay, in the past maybe you use 6 months to translate one book. Now with AI help, you can translate maybe 5 books per month, because the speed is faster. But the role is changed. The role is no longer to do the first round of translation. The role is actually, after AI has translated, you can go do the proofreading, you can go to and do further editing to make it the way you like it, or you even ask AI to totally translate again, but in whatever style you need. So skill needed is different, but doesn't mean that the job will no longer be there. It depends on how you use it. Like for example, if everybody would remember, in the old days we have word perfect, word star, and then word, maybe all this word processing software. Then after that, you don't hire any typists. All the typists have to learn more things that everybody must learn new things and all that. And then with Excel, with PowerPoint and all that. Last time in the old days, we use view graph. No, some company also have special technician that can help you build the transparency, come up with transparency printing and all that. But with PowerPoint, you don't need any one of you. But everybody, you change the scope. So the same thing, AI era, we have, as long as we are willing to learn, we can always change the scope of how we do. Like for example, people ask, if AI can diagnose disease better than doctor, what's the role of the doctor? Because AI can learn so many cases and all that, they may be able to tell better. But who knows, maybe in future, the diagnosis is out. The doctor will sit down with the patient, explain to him what this diagnosis means, what is the impact, how he can actually practice a good exercise or good practice of life, and then so that he can actually become better. And maybe at the end of the session, give the patient a hug. Changing of the role. So I would say not to be too afraid of this challenge, as long as we are willing to change our scope, change the way how we learn. Just like in the past, we used to read books. Now we read books. We also read electronic text and other things. All these years, we have been adapting ourselves using smartphone also. So AI, I would like to say that maybe AI is our co-creator or co-worker. Now, for example, your group, your company, somebody joined, a fantastic employee, this employee is very knowledgeable, right? Knowledgeable, so you can depend on it for many things. But sometimes he also does not know human well, so we have to guide them, right? So it's like this one. So this is way how we treat the AI.
And also for people of all ages, what do you think are some of the skills that are very important now and also probably in the next 10, 20 years? Because you also mentioned about relationship, a lot of things that you still need human. Okay, so as human being ourselves, what are some of the skills you think that is highly needed to actually progress for the next few decades? For people of all ages, not just certain age group.
Okay, so let's say for example, if we look at education, there are a few levels of education. There's one education for survival, and for survival and for work. Then you go to high school, you go to university, you got a degree in that profession, then you can do the work and all. This kind of work education for survival and work. But there's also another one is education for living, to understand how you live, how to appreciate life, how to appreciate cultures and all that. Because for information, we can actually drink a cup of coffee and enjoy the coffee. But AI robot cannot do that. Right? AI robot cannot drink coffee. Although he can express how wonderful a cup of coffee is, he cannot drink. So that is actually the difference. The experiences and all that. That is human experiences is something it cannot replace. Okay? And the other one is actually about life education. It's about life, because AI robot will not die. But for us, we are all mortal. We know about pain, we know about suffering, we know about the life and all that. So all these things, we need our next young generation to learn as well. Because now AI can be a good knowledge companion, but a lot of these things we need them to experience. That's why recently there was actually a very famous and popular book called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. Inside that, they actually mentioned that from their study and the statistics, they found that all the young generation who have actually been in a high school since 2010, year 2010, are all actually suffering with this symptom. They found out that because iPhone was introduced 2007, Android handphone was introduced 2008, and social media and photo taking became popular in 2010 and all that. So they found out that from the statistics in US, and although this applies to other countries as well, that they found out that the percentage of anxiety, okay, before the introduction of the smartphone, it was in general about 7%. But after that, it now has gone up to 20%. And of course, besides anxiety, the depression rate has also increased, and self-harm and other things also have increased and all that. And the book actually suggests that in order to overcome this problem is because when the teenagers, they are still experiencing, still learning, when their amygdala was more developed than their prefrontal cortex that do reasoning thinking, during that time of years, it is very important for them that for them to learn about other experiences as well. For example, go and play more, go and join all kinds of activities, real life physical activities, do a lot of interactions and all that, so that all this rich life experience will actually give them more training, more knowledge about the real world, and they see the patterns and all that, so that they will not be too much influenced by the social media. So now there is actually a suggestion that we should encourage more of those addicted to smartphone come out and join the talk like this through the human interaction. Since now we have AI doing some work for us, we have smartphone that can actually give us a lot of convenience and all that. We should have more time for ourselves, more time for us to focus, to enjoy, to reach the flow state like what you are having now, and have a calm mind and enjoy it. Very important.
More time to do digital detox. There is such word called digital detox. It's not just drink something and then go to the washroom, but also the digital detox also. And just now Prof mentioned you should have more me time. A lot of people me time is on the phone one. A lot of people, their me time, they will spend it on their phone, on their tablet, on Netflix. Nothing wrong.
I would say that, for example, just some description to your. For example, when we were young, we read novels, and maybe at that time we were growing up in a bigger family. We can see even within the family there are people, the elderly who pass away. There are actually also some family conflicts. We see a lot of things. Then later we watch the TV series. You flow with TV series, episode 1, 2, 3, we follow, and we can see that throughout the things there are challenges, there are how they overcome the challenges, how by working together, how we are able to solve problems and all that. This experience is what we call scenario teaching. Because although they have not experienced themselves, but since they have watched a movie, they have watched a drama series, they have seen in their life, they know there's this scenario teaching. So next time when they face this kind of thing, they would not think this is the end of the world, because they have seen many scenario sharing and all that. But nowadays, if they are only focusing on social media, their information is fragmented info. Sometimes you only get the result, and the news of result are all bad result. You won't see the whole thing and all that. You also sometimes won't see the whole thing, how it developed, how you solve that one. So with this one, then naturally when they face with this challenge of cyberbullying or whatever, they will feel that don't know how to turn to, because they don't know how to turn. And parents also don't know that they are facing this, because in the old days you can see that he's after school, he or she came back crying and all that. But now without realizing this one. So that's why it's very important to still have that kind of experience. So if you have time watching TV series, watching it together with the children, it's also important, because that is a way how you can share your life experience. And during lunchtime and during dinner time, it's okay that you can share that, in the fact company, there was actually an incident and how finally you all solve it. This experience sharing is also important. So during meal time, talk more about all these things. real life experience, real life sharing scenario and all that, that will help develop their strength. Maybe we don't know, but that helps because they have examples to follow. But in the internet and all that, it's fragmented. So they may not see, and then suddenly when they post something and suddenly start so many disapproval sign they receive, suddenly there are this gratification, that a lot of like, then they thought that they are the king, or they are not doing well, without proper kind of learning experience. Okay, that's one thing. And the other one is that I like to suggest that we read more books. Why? The thing is actually, you see, if you watch the video, TikTok and all that, you can say if each night you watch 100 short videos, so every month is 3,000 videos. Now after 1 month, let me ask you, I give you a test. How much you still remember what you have seen? Because the video was short video and it was freshing. It tried to get you assignment freshing and all. But our mind is biological mind, Our mind biological. The neuron connection cannot react that fast. So you analyze that, you think a lot of things you have browsed through, but you may forget about it. But through the reading, you can actually have more time to absorb, especially those with deep meaning, and those which are more mental challenging, you can learn better and all that. And in through novels and all that, you see the whole story line and all that. You know that there's always help. You see hope. Okay. And the other thing is actually, in the books, normally it is structured in a way that it gives you the overall picture of the whole thing, rather than fragmented information that you have to self-assemble it. And when you self-assemble, you may go to the wrong conclusion. So these are the things that I think is very important. And more importantly is actually, nowadays reading books is also has another good effect. What's the effect? It is a good sleeping pill. Yeah? You understand what I mean? Because if you use a handphone and then you watch, then don't know. After 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, still watching the telephone. I went to many schools, high school, and I asked a lot of students nowadays, and asked them, how many of you have sleeping problems? Most of them raised their hand. Imagine when we were young, how sometimes people say, why we keep on sleeping? But now, the young generation, they have this challenge, because maybe the handphone. But now even not young people.
You don't discriminate across all ages.
People of all ages. Uncle, aunties as well. We have actually this information that there was some request that I heard the story that in the family, the eldest was actually maybe 70 years or 80 years old. They requested their children at 50 or 60, please, every night after 9 p.m., please take away from me my handphone. Or else they cannot control. Okay, so just imagine every night you don't before you go to bed and all that, try not to watch the smartphone. Take some books. The books is something not technical, something you feel like you enjoy reading, something. Then every day just read 2-3 pages. 1 month you can finish 1 book. Then you can learn some knowledge, and because why? When you are reading books, you have no interruptions or other things. Because when you are watching, even you are reading the e-books on your handphone, sometimes notification come in and all that, and certain news get you worried already. Maybe cannot sleep already. Maybe cannot sleep already. So try to do so. And then when you are reading books, you see, when you are using the handphone, sometimes until so tired, the handphone drop on the floor. But now you read this book, never mind, you can pick it up next time. And if you think that you are not good at reading book, so after reading 2 pages you feel sleepy, That's even better. Sorry, that's a question.
Yeah, Prof. There are millions of books out there. What are the books that you would recommend as a must read as part of the growing process or learning process?
Okay, about reading books, how to develop the passion for learning, reading, the content is not so much important. It's actually the joy of learning, the joy of reading is more important. Because even when we grow the kids from young and all that, a lot of time people say, okay, these are the good books that I want my children to read. Then they must, some of them even ask them to write a summary after the book. That one, they may not feel the joy of reading. As long as the content is not some content which is not good, unless if the content is not something not good, okay, any content you could let them read, as long as they find there's joy of reading. That joy of reading, the passion of reading, will actually connect neural networks in their brain, strong neural networks that they like to read. They enjoy reading. That pressure, that passion of learning will help him forever in his life. Okay? So the same thing at night when you read, now you're about to sleep, right? Just read something simple, something you want to catch up. No need to read journal papers and all that. Then you use a lot of brain power. Something simple and all that. Something maybe positive energy. Then no interruption. Then you also sleep with a good energy, positive energy when you go to bed. Think about it one. You see, most of my reading was done during night time, because I wrote all these books. Most of because during daytime I'm normally very busy. So at night I read some of the book, the latest thing. Then if I want to write an article, I jot down and all that, and then at the end of before the time is up, the due time, then I will compile all this and then write an article. So all this year is done through that one. Yeah. And then I still remember, and during COVID time, COVID that 2-3 years, every night after COVID started and all that, because we all feel uncertain, right? During how to overcome all these kind of things. So I start reading back 金庸小说 the 金庸小说 from volume 1 until volume 14, one by one and all that. And because it's interesting, it's always up and down and all that, so it helps us to overcome this period, get you occupied, right? So, and I also say that I still remember when I was reading the first chapter, I said that hopefully when the time I finish, the pandemic will be over. And it's true, after 2-3 years, the pandemic was over. So life is like that one. There's a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. But it's through relationship, through our belief, through our continuous practicing in our mind and all that help you. And this kind of power is very important.
Just to recap what Prof mentioned just now, because neurons, right, in front is the thinking brain, and then even people in their warga emas, people in their 60s and 70s, they also find it very hard to let go of the phone at night. And this is adults. So apply that to kids, because kids, they are still learning as well, right? Their neurons, all these are still growing, and it's even much more difficult for them, and they will have more decades to grow. So since this is how they are built, why not we instill the joy of learning to the kids since young, so they actually will find more joy in learning things, or even start reading more, the physical books perhaps, so that there are lesser distractions. And also this one can bring me to almost the last question that I want to ask, because before that also we met up with Prof and we had a very long chat on, we get a lot of information as well, and then some sharing from closed door session with the Nobel Prize winners as well. And I would like that Prof also share with everyone here the same question that I asked you that day, because you have met people and in university you have interacted with people of different generations. At work, many people say, young people nowadays are very hard. Or probably some people say, my kids are now teenagers. Why so different from my time? And you have seen people grown over these years. You have seen different generations in university and also in other platforms. So what would you want to share, or what do you want to tell the parents or people who are dealing with the younger generations, teenagers, university, or younger workforce? What do you want to share with them?
Okay, so I just want to maybe share some kind of analysis. Because if you remember, we were in agricultural revolution before. Then we have industrial revolutions. Then we have all the handphones, computers and all that. And then we have now AI robots. Right? So throughout all these generations, you try to compare the previous and there are always changes because we are already living in different kind of we live different lifestyle, different kind of job, different type of society structures and all that. Okay, so we just have to adapt to it and willing to accept the changes. Okay, so for example, you can't say that, okay, please, if you want to make an appointment to me, please write a letter to me, like old days. Right? Then later you say, please email me. Now, please text me. Right? So things have changed and all that. So I would say that sometimes, if you check with the younger generation, they also have their own thinking. They may also think that, okay, we may say this is fragmented and all. They say this is how they learn. It's possible. So I would say that, natural cause. Natural cause. Maybe this younger generation, they have a way that to address it because every generation, they have their challenges. Okay? What we can do is actually how we can communicate further so that we can actually reduce this kind of gap. I would think about this whole, like for example, nowadays our children and all that, we might want to actually know how they think, how they make friends, how they actually interact in the social media. It's different from what we are doing. Okay, people who grow from this age and all that, later they may also come out and share how to do all this kind of thing. But as long as the society can continue to promote good values, can continue to actually want to actually have a nice, kind thought, do good works, and then talk good words and all that, then overall the society will become better. There's always hope. That's why even if you watch the movie Star Wars, Star Trek, or Transformer, there's still a lot of fights inside there. No matter how advanced their technology is, it still come back to the problem of the heart. You still come back to this one, you just look at it. So how to continue develop ourselves, strengthening our mind in the AI era is now our challenge. And there are ways that we can do so as we described just now. Yeah. So don't worry, let's work together because we are now together facing all this wave of scientific and technology advancement, waves. So we are actually in the ocean, all the waves coming out and all that. To survive in the ocean, we have to know how to swim. And to swim is not just to watch video how to swim. No, we have to really swim, and we have to drink some salt water, sea water. But don't worry, everybody is swimming. So sure, some of them will be better as long as we can work together. We'll overcome all the challenges. Recently, I was in Shanghai attending the World AI Conference, Shanghai, and AI safety is very hot topic there because we are not too sure what will happen. Okay, what will happen and all that. But we believe that if we really want to train AI models, just like the human kids and all that, when they were young, we have to train them all the good deeds, all the good belief. So we are saying that whether we can say that all the algorithm, all the large language model, their basic cause should be something based on all these good values. Then also what the famous author of science fiction novels, Isaac Asimov, he actually many long years ago he mentioned that there's this rules of robot. That the first thing, rule number 1, rule number 2, not to harm human being. Number 2, not to actually. There are many rules. You can go and look. So that built into that one, so that hopefully that is the basic thing that they in future they can live together with us. That's the thing.
So in terms of actually co-creating and co-living with AI, having the right set of values is very important. And also during the conversation, Prof also highlighted a lot about empathy. We are not just using it for the sake of using it. Hey, phone got battery, got internet, okay lah, use AI lah. Don't have to even type ChatGPT ma. You press CH, then the GPT.com will come out already. Because you've been using the browser for so many times. So when you use AI tools, always use it with the intention. And also, relationship is still very important. Thanks or no thanks to the pandemic, it has speed up a lot of issues with interacting with people, and there are more loneliness. So now we have passed the pandemic stage. So hopefully with events like this, we actually have more people coming back to a physical setting. And also we have some friends who actually came from JB as well for this session. Almost purposely come here also lah, and then they also had a very fruitful few days here in KL, our Buddhist friends here as well. So it's very important for everyone, probably some of you have your pickleball sessions. Very good, that is very good. I didn't, okay, that is very good, okay? You can have more sessions as well. You can have teh tarik session, you can have your morning breakfast session, and also you can have your digital detox session. Go under the sun, morning sun, go back to nature, meet friends, yum cha, and then maybe put your phone aside. The only time you use your phone is to pay using the Touch and Go. Probably that's the only time.
Maybe,
how do you detox? How do you digital detox?
Okay. Maybe I share with you, I forgot to share one thing very important. We know about this author, Daniel Goleman, who is the author of the famous book, Emotional Intelligence. So actually when smartphone was introduced to the market at that time, he came up with another book called Focus. He believed that in the world of smartphone, being able to focus is actually the driving force of the excellent focus. So sometimes when we are in this world of not certain and all that, I think I find out that the best way is actually start learning to be focused on every job we do. Enjoy doing whatever that you're doing, be focused. And then when you are watching TikTok, focus on this one. And then when you are preparing for breakfast, focusing on this one. Mindfulness, very important. Because from a lot of fMRI research, they find out that being mindful and all that, you'll be more happy. There are 2 Harvard professors did these studies and say that a wandering mind is a not happy mind. A wandering mind and all. So, in fact, that is the way if you want to do a retalk, because we cannot get rid of all these digital devices. We need to live with it, right? We need to live with it. But whatever we do, we try to be focused and mindful at whatever that you're doing. Then, why? Because when you're mindful, we are focused on certainly you do, then you'll be so immersed in this one and your mind is calm, and then you enter the flow state. And when you're in flow state, you actually release all dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and others and all that. All these good, feel good things and hormones and all that. And when you are actually having in the flow state and all that, and when you are focused, you will not enter into the mode called default mode network. Default mode network is actually like this one. All of us, when we are not focusing on doing certain things, the brain will initiate this default mode network. Default mode network is a certain areas of the brain will be initiated, and you start thinking about beyond. You start thinking about other things. You start thinking about future. You start thinking about the past and all that. And sometimes start adding some story into your past or whatever, and then increase the anxiety and also depression and all that. The moment how to switch off the default mode network is back to focus. Then you switch off that one. So this is some of the latest research. You can go to YouTube to look at it. Default mode network, then you know the function. So coming back to this one, because we cannot get rid of a digital device. So if you can focus on doing whatever things you do, you can actually cut down the time you're on digital device. You focus on the real experience and you feel fulfilled. Then you become, and you build out relations. You become better. You become better.
Be specific or have the intention when whatever you are doing. Just now Prof also mentioned, when you're scrolling TikTok, be mindful when you're TikToking as well. Because 30 minutes already. Oh, time to shut down, switch. Or when you're working, suddenly notification pop up. No, let me go back to this work that I'm doing. So
Yes.
it's really intentional.
It's always self-awareness. So what Buddha has taught us and all that, all this raising our self-awareness is very important. Even for children, where they are addicted to computer games or smartphones, sometimes it's because they are so into this one. There's no other mind to interrupt and say that enough is enough. But for people who are trained with this self-awareness, they know that, oh, I promised 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes.
Thank you so much, Prof. Once again, please give Prof a very, very big hand. Thank you so much. And I believe it's also nice that because all this while when we hear Prof share in sessions, there are slides and also probably there are some more technical presentation. And also this round we get to hear Prof from his personal experience, third place or nationwide, first place in the Buddhism studies, and then started up the MIT Buddhist Association. That's in the US. That's in 1990s. I think if you start up a Buddhist association in the US university now, it will be very difficult as well. But back in the 90s, it's definitely not easy as well. So, and it happens, and that's why we are here today to hear from Prof. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So now, for a token of appreciation.